All right, cool. Here we are back for the second episode of my me only show. Nobody else, not a podcast, just me talking directly to you, sharing some of my insight, sharing some of my history, my background on how I got to where I am today. Today, what I want to talk to you about is content, right? So, in developing any good content, there is a system that you need to go through to get started. And I had somebody on the last video comment that they want to talk to me and they want to collaborate with me, which is awesome. And I'm very excited to talk to that individual in the future. I've helped a lot of different people with their content. I've helped a lot of really amazing people with their content. And it's a system that you need to put in place to hold yourself accountable. How do you want to approach it? A lot of people, they run into just ego issues that they just can't get past, what they've done before, or maybe they're very successful as a lawyer, they're very successful as a mortgage broker, but when it comes to doing content, it's hard for them to get started. And I've worked a lot with people to push through these egos, very successful guys and gals. And whenever we hit a block, or whenever we had to like kind of discontinue working together to grow the brand and get them booked on podcasts and all of this different things, it really had to do with ego. So I'll share with you a couple of stories that I think can really help you with your content creation journey. And also, if you want to become a consultant in this field, help you become a consultant as well. So step one is get access to a good camera. This is very necessary for your own personal content, or if you're going to shoot other people. It really gets you into a lot of circles that when you're walking around with just your phone, that does not do the trick. If you just have your iPhone, Pablo Escobar iPhone. If you just have your iPhone, you're not going to be taken seriously. This is with clients and also in your own content. There's a awe and there's a very cool vibe to walking into an office with multiple cameras, like I have in my office here. And it helps get you into the vibe of filming, right? And or filming other people. That would be step one. Get your hands on a good camera. There are good camera models out there that shoot very high quality video. It's basically just getting out of having the appearance of just only having an iPhone. It's not the right way to go professionally. I actually had a client that I had booked for $1,000 to shoot a podcast, had the whole thing set up, and we had the switchers, we had the mics, everything. But because we chose to go the route of shooting on iPhone, he was unhappy with the appearance, really. It had nothing to do with even the content that was filmed, because the quality was very good, but just the vibe walking into the room did not feel professional enough for that client. So I ended up working with them again. But the next time that I worked with them, I made sure that I had a full crew team that was filming on professional cameras like Sony A7S3s, like some of the other models that are out there. I'm not an expert in all the models. So if you want to check out different camera models, there's a lot of different YouTube channels out there that can help you do that. So step one is get a really good camera, or find something that makes you look more professional. Figure out what you want to say before you say it. Alex Hormozy is really good and very inspiring when it comes to making content. I used to talk to Alex quite a bit when I was at Valuetainment. We would go back and forth over Instagram. I followed his content very early on, got introduced to it when I went out to Andy Elliott's seminar, who was a client of mine, and Alex Hormozy's name came up from Brad Lee. These are all big names in the industry. And when I heard Alex's name, I was like, who is this guy? Brad said he was the biggest next thing in entrepreneurship, and he ended up being the biggest next thing in entrepreneurship. And his content online is, and his angle on developing content is, you have to wait until you have something to say, like concrete. You have to wait till you have experience and a good reputation. There is a waiting process. It's not just hop on the camera. This can be kind of controversial, I guess, in the content world, because other people would say just start. But I think I agree with Alex here. And the reason why I agree is there was a time when I was working for PBD, when I was doing consulting, where I had this very young client. He was one of my first clients at Valuetainment. And to be clear, what I was doing there was I would help consult individuals who came in to learn from Pat, but there was this middle ground where they couldn't always talk to Pat, so they had to talk to me. So I had to get good at advising them on media or social media, and that's kind of where I got my start with this whole consulting thing that I'm doing more now. And when the kid came on, he was 16 years old. He was out of England. He had already kind of worked with Ed Milet and gone to a bunch of different events. He was a very proper kid. And he hopped on one of the masterminds that we had. And he started talking to Pat and said, you know, Pat, what would you suggest that I do for my content and my personal brand? And in front of the entire group, Pat basically said, you know, who are you to tell anything about finance? And the kid didn't really have a good answer because he was so used to just people encouraging him and pushing him and taking him, you know, his mentality to the next level. But I mean, there's a lot to that. When you are very young and you don't have a lot to share, maybe go a route where you're just doing vlogging content or something entertaining. If you're going to try to hop in and be a financial guy, but you have no experience in finance and you're 16 years old, unless you're a freaking genius, it really doesn't make sense. You know, unless you're Barron Trump, right? It doesn't make sense that you're going to get into that sort of field that early. Number 3, learn how to edit. Filming is pretty simple. Filming is you put a camera up, you have a good lens, you have a good quality camera. That's why I focus on quality in part 1. And you know, you turn the camera on, you basically put it in a direction. You have to get good at talking to the camera. You have to get good at your, you know, delivering of the content. You have to get good at delivering of the content. But when it comes to editing, there is a little bit of a learning curve. And I would suggest that you become a great editor. I know CoffeeZilla edits a lot of his own stuff because he has to, because it's so intricate. I'm going to put a link below to watch CoffeeZilla episodes because he's one of my favorite creators. If you get good at the editing process, you really take all of the capabilities into your own hands, so you're never held hostage by an editor. Working with editors is very difficult. They hold on to the content. Sometimes the delivering or deliverables back are not in the time length that you want to. If you want to do routine posting, to find a good editor is very expensive and tedious. So if you can put, you know, the power in your own hands, especially if you're young and you have a lot of free time and you don't have a wife or girlfriend, etc., you can learn how to edit, and that skill will be very valuable long term. I would not suggest really going down the route of AI editing just yet, because a lot of AI editing, I believe, stifles the content when you go to post it, and you really need to learn how to use your own brain. All of the content that I'm going to be doing is not going to be ChatGPT'd out, so it will show my personality. Whereas if I was just going down bullet points using ChatGPT and using AI, it would be weird. If I used it to develop the videos, that might look weird. So I am doing all of my editing on CapCut, which I found to be the best editing tool out there for me. It's very simple, very easy to use. Number 4, don't just make your own content. Collaborate with other media brands and other people that are out there that also make content. That's what's going to grow your channel and your personal brand the fastest. There are a lot of people out there in your community, well, especially in Miami. Miami's like the new Hollywood. There are a lot of people out there that you can collaborate with that are local people who also have cameras. You can also learn the process through them. You can see what their editors are doing. You can see how their team operates. You can see how they utilize and wield a camera. And I think that collaboration is so important for the creator economy, because what you're inherently doing is you are renting space. When you cross collab or you tag hosted by somebody else, you are owning a piece of their digital real estate by getting posted by them. And if they have a big following, you're taking that digital real estate and you're plugging your brand right into it. And that's what's happening. That's why you get growth, because they have all the people that follow them on their Instagram, TikTok, etc. And you might have a smaller amount of people that follow you, but when you get uploaded by them and you do a collaboration post, you're taking advantage of their digital real estate and the followers that they have. And some of those will convert over to your platform, your Instagram, your social medias, because they like you, they think you're cool. And that's why you always want to keep a good vibe with that other creator and make sure that when you do the collaboration, it's fun, exciting, everybody sees that you really like each other. together, because then that will increase the conversion over from their platform to yours. And whatever that content creator normally does, do what they do. I did a really cool collaboration with an awesome friend of mine, Eliana Gann. I used to act with her like 15 years ago, 10 to 15 years ago in local plays, and we had like roles with each other. And then she carried on to become this huge TikTok celebrity and star, and she makes some of the coolest videos online. Check her out. I'm going to put her link in the description. Incredible director, producer, content creator. But when I did the collaboration with her that you can find on my Instagram, we just did skits. We did little skits, and I was open to doing whatever she normally does for content, because those people that watched it liked it because I was fitting into her universe, not the other way around. So yeah, those are some tips on content. Those are kind of my opinions and views on how you should make better content. I'm going to be doing a lot more content videos, maybe getting a little bit more specific, but I thought I would do a generalistic, multi-tip video for you to just understand my opinions in the content world. I've worked with and seen a lot of very cool teams, content teams, media groups like Valuetainment. I was involved with them for 2 years. Andy Elliott, I saw his entire media operation. Very cool how he did his thing. And many others. Sean Kelly's show was on that show, Digital Social Hour. He rents a studio out in Vegas. Now he just built his own studio, so congratulations to Sean. I'm going to put the link in the description for my episode on the Sean Kelly show, so you can kind of see, what his production is like and how he does his content. But there's just so many ways to do content, and I want to make sure that everybody here has a brief understanding of my approach and what I think is important, so you can maybe get into content yourself. I'm so happy that you watch this episode. Please like, share, comment on the video, and that's Don on Content. Thank you so much for joining on the show.